Wow, who can forget these images? Sheer devastation. And today, believe it or not, marks 1 year since the horrific fires in Maui, Hawaii. More than 100 people were killed, thousands displaced from their homes, and over 1,000 businesses completely destroyed.
The exact cause of the fires is still being investigated, but we do know that downed power lines started at least one fire. And recently, the state's electric company proposed a massive settlement.
News correspondent Joe Gumm looks back at one of the deadliest fires in that country's history and the response and why efforts to rebuild Hawaii, some of those communities, now stalled. Joe?
Yeah, good morning, Fanch and Dominique. It's been a year of tears, struggle, suffering, plenty of pain, and plenty of doubt. In spite of all of that, the people of Maui continue to come together to do one thing: move forward.
The entire property is gone, and that property housed a lot of our family.
It was the worst natural disaster to hit the state of Hawaii and the fifth deadliest wildfire in U.S. history, destroying 2,200 structures and causing $5.5 billion in damage.
The news is so surreal, and everything is burning around, explosions, cars blowing up, like embers flying, we couldn't breathe.
Throughout the last year, residents from communities in Maui have relied on faith and family, trying to move forward from the painful memories of the devastation that tore through their towns.
Don't give up. Never give up hope. And that's what it's all about. We work together. We can do it. We can do it.
And residents did do it for each other. Hundreds of thousands of volunteers gave their time, what money they had, and considerable amounts of energy into being there for each other the day of the fires and even into this day.
First day that I went into Lahaina to see the town where I coach football, where we do community events and we do fundraising for all the sports groups, I was devastated. I was a wreck. I needed mental health, and I considered myself a strong leader, but it broke me. It still breaks me. This is what keeps me going, helping people.
And now, monetary help is on the way. Last Friday, Hawaii's Governor Josh Green announced a historic settlement to resolve claims, a little more than $4 billion. However, with payouts reportedly taking several years, thousands still displaced, rubble still needing to be cleared, insurance issues needing to be resolved, and water and soil needing to be tested, this question remains.
What happens after this and what happens next? We're all watching. The world is watching.
And we are still watching. The Northern California town of Paradise is still rebuilding after a deadly fire killed 85 people there 6 years ago. So there is a long road ahead for Maui, but the local government is creating new laws aimed at cutting the wildfire danger so another tragedy like this of this magnitude does not happen again. Ladies.
Thank you very much, Joe. And one of the people still recovering from these destructive fires is Javier Barberi, co-owner of the Hanaho Hospitality Restaurant Group. Good to have you, Javier.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Javier, it is absolutely heartbreaking to look at some of these images and just know how devastating this has been, and now to find out that people are still living through this devastation. So we can get a better idea of what life was like before last year's wildfires. Tell us about your business and what you remember from that day 1 year ago.
So our business is Mala Ocean Tavern, the restaurant right on Front Street. We had another restaurant called Down the Hatch. It burnt down in the fires. And that day was pretty surreal. You think you see these natural disasters on TV and something like that, and you never think it's going to happen to you. And all of a sudden we go from a phone call saying that there's no power out in Lahaina town to evacuations and, blackness. The day turned from day till night before the sun went down because of how black the smoke was in the town. And it was just utter devastation. And until the next morning, nobody knew what actually happened until we actually went back into the town to see for our own eyes, what survived and what didn't, and very little did.
Yeah, describe that moment, Javier. I can't imagine as we look at the aftermath now, but I mean, you've got a bustling business, 6 restaurants, 4 affected by the wildfires. You're going in the next day. What are you seeing? What are you feeling?
Um, I drove my truck the next day and I put my dirt bike in the back of it because I didn't know what to expect. And there was a lot of roadblocks and barricades, and it was something out of a movie where there's police everywhere, but it's kind of lawless at the same time. Nobody really knows what's going on. They're not organized. The government's not organized. And I took my dirt bike out. I started driving around the town. And I honestly, like, when you drive around your town, you know where you are because of certain landmarks. Oh, there's Bubba Gump's. Oh, there's Ed's Union gas station. And you know where you are. But I could not figure out where I was. I had to use landmarks to try to figure it out, and they weren't there. Everything was just leveled, just gone, completely gone. And you think like, this isn't real. Like, I need to wake up from this dream, but it's real. It's real, and there's nothing there, and your life has changed forever.
Yeah. Well, you know, many of us have traveled to the state of Hawaii, and we remember it, how it used to look. And looking at these pictures, it's hard to even begin to process how you must be feeling, how your employees must be feeling. This obviously taking a huge emotional toll. Do you feel like there needs to be more done to help people deal with this emotionally, the loved ones, business owners, employees, families, deal with what you are having to live through?
Oh, absolutely. There definitely needs to be more done. I think there's a lot of people that are still struggling mentally, struggling financially. And the government hasn't really stepped up here in Maui to help out people and to help out businesses as well. I really think that people need to focus their efforts on West Maui and making sure that the people here are being taken care of. There was, so many people that were in the hotels that were displaced, and very little was being done to get them homes, put them in different places. I just think the organizational efforts haven't been that great. Yeah, definitely. We still need help over here.
Yeah, and it's so important for stories like yours, Javier, to be on air again for that reminder. You know, it's not just a 1-year anniversary, but it's 1 year after, and people are struggling and they need help and assistance. And we are grateful you shared your story today, Javier Barberi. We send our continued prayers for recovery and hopefully more attention and more funding to get you guys back on ground.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.